What is up, you guys? My name is Roberto Gallegos and I am an industrial engineer in the making. And today I actually wanted to bring you guys a video of how to develop a reading habit. It's super simple, not very complicated, but yet something a lot of people struggle with during these days because not many people read anymore. And honestly, I don't even know how I developed this reading habit. I guess I developed it because of different acquaintances and different friends of mine who read a lot, and they passed me this habit. Thank God they did, because I wasn't a big reader. I could never finish a book to the end. That's a problem most of us have, to not being able to complete a book or just not being consistent with the habit overall. So I wanted to share with you 5 of my tips that actually helped me a lot in developing this reading habit that really opened my eyes a lot to the world and to different information. And if you literally think about it, you're learning every single day something new, and that's something that is amazing for the human brain. So super quick, I wanted to give you these 5 tips that actually helped me a lot in developing these habits. Let's start with the first one. Start out small. This is a super simple trick for any habit, actually. Just start out small. What I did was actually start reading 1 page a day. Then I actually started reading 10 pages a day. And from there, I just did like maybe 2 weeks to a month reading 10 pages. And then from there, I started reading 15 pages in the morning and 15 pages at night. And from there, I started reading 15 pages before breakfast, 15 pages after breakfast, and the other 30 pages, I'd knock them out at night. So start out small. Make it something you can do quickly and something you can do consistently. For a lot of time, that's gonna be the next point. Make it a habit that's not so tedious and it doesn't make you want to stop doing it, because it has to be an enjoyable habit for you to make it a habit. What starting small does is it makes this activity something easy and something you can manage, and your mind actually tends to go for the easier things and the things that don't take so much mental work. So start out small and make it easy for your mind in the beginning, and from there you can start figuring out how many pages you want to be reading a day. For me, I'm actually reading right now, for example, 60 pages a day, and I'm reading a book a week. That's the perfect balance for me, honestly. Moving on to the next one. Number 2, be consistent. What do I mean by be consistent? This is something that is super contradictory, because a lot of people say you shouldn't do things you don't like, but this is like exercise, literally. The mind is a muscle. You have to like literally train it like a muscle and be consistent with it even though you don't like it. I know it contradicts last point a little bit, but you have to be consistent with everything, and like everything in life, there's gonna be times in life when you won't wanna do those activities you have to do, and you're gonna have to get them done in order to accomplish the goal you're gonna wanna do in the end. So there's always gonna be this small part of an activity that you might have for a long-term goal that you won't wanna do, and you just have to get through it and go through the motions. Even though you don't wanna read the book, you're gonna have to do it, go through the motions, and try and pay attention as much as you can, because to make it a habit, you can't miss any days, guys. Like reading is an actual habit. You have to like be doing it every single day, because if you don't, you're gonna be reading like maybe once a week or maybe twice a week, and then maybe take a whole week off and not reading. And for reading to actually work for the mind, and for you to maximize your actual knowledge and your human capital, you're gonna have to be reading every single day and actually feeding your mind every single day, guys. This is super simple. Just be consistent with it. Stick with it for the long term. Actually do it every single day. Don't miss a day, not even Sundays, guys. If Sunday you don't want to actually read like anything, all right, fine. Don't read 10 pages. Read 5, read 2, but read. Do the activity even though you don't want to, and make it easier for yourself, but at least get to doing the activity. Okay, so moving on to number 3. This is a mistake I actually made a long time ago. Not a long time ago, but like when I actually started reading, I started just buying books because they seem to be the books that gave you the most knowledge, maybe in certain areas that help you a lot in life. But I actually had different interests, and one of my friends actually gave me this tip to actually be reading books that you actually like. So read books that you're actually interested in. Like, it's a no-brainer, right? Like, you should be reading books that you're interested in, of course. And what I was basically doing was just reading the books that people recommended to me. So I just read those books and I wasn't even liking them. I just did it consistently and just went through the books, and fine, I did learn something, I did. It was harder to make it a habit, and it was harder for me to even get to reading, just because I didn't want to read the book because I wasn't interested in the content inside the book. Get a book that you're interested, guys. Like, even though it's not the most knowledgeable book, look for a book that'll maybe help you in your life, but you know you'll be interested in. Even if it's the smallest interest ever, read a book that you're gonna want to know what's inside the book, and you're gonna at least want to know, and it'll give you a sense of wanting to read a little more the days that you don't want to read. So That's a huge no-brainer, guys. That I made the huge mistake, and some people do it too, just because they want to read the New York Times bestseller book or the books that their parents recommend them. And I honestly don't recommend this from my perspective. Yeah, just pick a book that you're interested in and that you like, and that'll facilitate things a lot for you guys. Moving on to number 4, create a reading schedule. Honestly, for me, creating schedules for every single thing I do is the best and the most optimal for me, because I do the stuff that needs to get done when it needs to get done. All right, not always, but like I know that most of the stuff that I have planned out for my day is always a schedule. It's always a routine that I need to get done. And these routines help us humans get those things that we need to accomplish throughout the day done. Setting up a book reading time for you will help you get the reading done throughout the day, because you'll know that it's time that you have free for you to read. That's something that helped me a lot, because I struggle finding time to like read, but like that's actually not the case. I had to make a schedule and just look for the times in my day that I wasn't doing anything and I was just wasting time for reading. So for me, it's actually in the mornings. I wake up at 4:30 a.m. and I read from 4:30 to 6. That's a big space of time, a big chunk of time for me to read at least 30 to 40 pages, and from there I'll read the rest of the pages at night. That has worked for me like a charm, because I get my reading done and I'm just satisfied that I got it done in the morning and at night, and it helps me to always get it accomplished no matter what. Look for these times that you have free in your day and just schedule them for reading instead of being on your phone, or instead of maybe sleeping or maybe doing something else that you're unconsciously doing. Look for those times and set them up for reading, and that's a super simple tip that'll help you get your reading habits in dial. Moving on to number 5. Eliminate your distractions, guys. This is super hard for me up to date, just because sometimes I'm a little bit anxious or a little bit stressed out, and stuff can get inside my mind real quick. Maybe just like work stuff or school stuff or even sports just gets in the way, and our everyday activities just stress us out. And when we're reading, you're gonna notice that you get distracted very quickly if you start thinking on something else. You have to be 100% focused on what you're reading at the time. And the reason for this is reading requires a large part of your mind when you're doing it. It's an activity that requires a large part of your brain. And when you're doing this, you're like literally training your mind. So you have to concentrate on what you're reading and on what you're actually doing. This is a super simple one that really helped me. I used to have my phone a lot when I was reading on my side, and it used to just ring a lot and I'd get a lot of notifications. My best tip for you is actually just leave your phone on the other room just for the time that you're gonna be reading. So you're focused on the book and you're focused on what you're reading, and you won't get distracted, because you'll even notice that even if your phone's not there, you'll sometimes just be distracted because of something else that maybe you have a really tough day coming by and you're just stressed. That's life, man. And what'll help is actually just getting those distractions off your desk, maybe your phone, maybe your tablet, just setting up your day before and just being a little bit less stressed out when you're gonna read, just so you're not so distracted on what you're reading and you can get the most out of what you're gonna read. Those are my 5 tips that I actually wanted to share with you. These are some tips that somewhere in my reading career, I actually made a mistake on one of those, or maybe I just developed them through my reading habit. So these 5 tips are really gonna help you develop your overall reading skills and reading habits, so you can start reading every single day and make it a big habit of yours, because reading is one of the best habits that you can have, and it's a highly desired trait that many successful people have. So I really do recommend you give it a try and try these 5 tips when you read, and trust me, you're gonna develop this habit. I believe in you, okay? So that's gonna be it for this video, you guys. If you like this video, please do like, subscribe, and turn on post bell notifications, as it does help me a lot, guys. That's gonna be it for this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.